Hello, and welcome to RIME Entertainment Showcase with your hosts, Rita and Mel.
Welcome to another amazing episode of RIME Entertainment Showcase. Today we have a special guest. She's a brand photographer. Let's give a warm welcome to Anneli Marinovich. Welcome to the
Anneli,
show.
welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's lovely to be here.
It's our pleasure. So you've been in the industry for over 10 years. How did you get started?
Well, it's been quite a journey, if I'm honest. I have always enjoyed taking photos, but it wasn't really until I met my husband, who is an incredible wildlife photographer, when I started kind of really thinking about photography as a potential career. And then it kind of developed from there. He bought me my first serious camera, and I just kept on taking photos, and I used to take my camera into work as well. Mm-hmm. During lunchtime, I would wander around, take photos of people, and just get a sense of light and all those kind of things. So it started there, but I'd say I've always been a very visual person. Mm-hmm. Advertising and marketing at uni, and obviously that gave me a really good sense of why visual imagery or visuals are so important when it comes to marketing yourself and building a brand and those kind of things.
Great.
Amazing. Yeah. So did you find that you were kind of drawn to other careers, or was it just mainly that was your focus? You always knew what you wanted to do?
No, so my background is actually in advertising. And before I became a photographer, I was working for a small marketing agency in London, and that was kind of client-facing roles. So more kind of client management and working on marketing campaigns and things like that. Okay. What frustrated me about that was that there were things that was outside of my control, and I didn't like the fact that I didn't have control. So for example, if a campaign went out late and my client wasn't happy, I'd have to deal with that. And so eventually, with my passion for photography and the fact that I wanted to be in control of my own business, I think.
Yeah.
And kind of grew from there. And I remember saying to myself, right, when I've got X amount of bookings and I've got my gear, I'm going to leave my job. And the date came on the 1st of July, 2011. Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow. Taking my boss for a coffee and just saying to her, I'm leaving. And she was so shocked. And I think the work that I put in up until getting to that point. So, so advertising and marketing was kind of my focus. So I never really set out to be a photographer, but the branding and the marketing side of it I've always been passionate about that. So it's nice that it's kind of come full circle, that I'm now slowly but surely through the photography and the brand photography, moving back towards personal branding, online marketing, reputation building, all of those things, because I love that.
Yeah, that's great. When you decided, okay, I wanted to leave, I'm ready, I'm going to leave my job and I'm going to start a business. Did you know then that it was brand photography that you were going to go into, or were you actually playing about with a few ideas and seeing what happens? The brand photography actually started developing towards the later part of my photography career. Initially, I was photographing more sort of destination weddings, lifestyle, portraiture, those kind of things. Yeah. But surely, as I suppose I started making connections through those industries, people started asking me, well, do you do brand photography? And essentially, it's an extension of any kind of portraiture where you're working with people, right, and you're trying to draw out their personality. You girls know, I mean, you're trying to figure out what these clients are about and trying to help them to relax, and then taking photos that will be a good representation of who they are as a person and as a business. So it kind of evolved from there. But it's certainly something, as over the last sort of 5 years in particular, I've started to pare back on the other types of photography and focus more on the personal branding photography. Yeah.
It's interesting, COVID for me as well forced me, it didn't force me, it gave me the time to build a standalone personal branding website. Yeah. And it gave me the time to really think about, right, where am I going with this? And we always talk about, where do you see yourself in 5 years or whatever? Yeah. For me, my future definitely is a lot more focused on the branding photography and personal brand mentoring and helping people to really build a strong online reputation.
Amazing. Yeah. That's definitely a brilliant journey then. I love the fact that you took it from a different avenue and you thought, actually, this is something that we can now bring into the picture.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
looking at, I mean, obviously your, you know, the photography that you do, your brand photography is absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You know, for anyone who follows us on social media, you know, we've had a session with Anneli, which is brilliant. But why is professional photography or brand photography so important for anyone?
Wow, I mean, where do I start? It's so, I think, again, because of what's happened in the world over the last 18 months, there have been a lot of people have really had a sort of a long, hard think about what they want to do with their lives. And there have been a lot of, right, I actually want to be this, I actually want to do that, and I need to have professional photography to establish my business.
Yeah.
To position myself as the expert in my field. So that's been a driving force in terms of, I suppose, people leaving the corporate world, so to speak, or the traditional, I have to have a 9 to 5 and I have to do one thing. Whereas now you can have a portfolio career, so you can do loads of different things.
Yeah.
Branding photography, I think, is a great way to show your clients and show the world that you're serious about what you want to be doing.
Yeah.
Like if I go on someone's website and there isn't a photo of them on the website, I'm confused because it's 2021.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I can't connect with you. And I think brand photography is a great way to help you connect with your ideal clients. Give them an insight into who you are as a person, what you enjoy doing, and it goes further than a headshot.
Yeah.
When I work with clients, you guys know, I do include a few headshots, but it's more about the storytelling element. And it's more about when I'm taking photos of my clients, I'm thinking about what does this photo say and how can you use that photo to start a conversation with the people that follow you.
Yeah,
so that's quite powerful. And for any company, whether you're a personal brand, anyone that offers a service, needs personal branding photography. Because you can't really, and it's 2021, you need that to be able to have a face of the brand.
Yeah.
Companies, even bigger companies, I mean, they also need a certain type of brand photography, whether it's a team or whatever that looks like. Visuals and having the personality behind the business are more important than the actual business. So people buy people, right? So that's more important over the last 18 months, I think.
Yeah, no, that's so important. What I liked, I mean, obviously from our experience of being on the photo shoot, is the fact that you brought out our personalities. You know, it was.
I'm so glad to hear that.
You know, it wasn't just okay, you know, pose this way, pose that way, you know, getting some really good shots. It was about, you could see that we enjoy laughing together. We, you know, even though that was the first time you met us, how would you say, how do you do that? You know, just like from the first instance, what's that journey with your client?
I mean, firstly, can I just say, the chemistry that you two have together as sisters made it such a pleasure to work with you. And when I was posing and directing you, I was just playing off the energy that you were giving me.
Yeah.
I'm not very, you know, energy and all those kind of things, but I do think I'm very sensitive to that kind of thing. So whenever I get a very quick idea of what they're like. So sometimes clients will take a while to get into the shoot. Slower, I maybe have more of a chat before we even start shooting, whatever the case may be. But for me, the discovery call is obviously a really important part. And I mean, you know, in your case, I only spoke to one of you, but it gave a really good sense of what you wanted from the shoot, and that, you know, your sisters in RIME, and then we had Swastika and we had RIME. So there were different elements to it, but your energy and your ethos when it came to what you guys do for a living, what you're passionate about, gave me an idea of, right, this is the kind of feeling that we want to put across in the photos. So the discovery call is actually crucial. And I've had clients before where we have the first call and, you know, they're extremely nervous about the experience because they've not done it before. And that's completely normal. I don't think, you know, I can count, not even on my one hand, clients who have said, oh yeah, I've had a branding shoot before, I know what it's like. But people haven't. So I work really hard to put you at ease and to make you comfortable. And I do that by using my expertise and my experience. 10 years is a long time to be working with different clients from different industries, clients of all ages, of all backgrounds, of all, you know, so it gives you a lot of insight into people. And that's why I love brand photography so much, because every client is different. You're both, if you're a coach, she's a coach, whatever, every person brings something so unique to the shoot. And I love figuring out what makes someone tick and then having fun with it, really.
Definitely so important, and definitely brilliant at doing that. I mean, moving on, obviously, because, you know, we tend to do shows more so for like the creative industry, arts, entertainment. What would you say is really important, like you mentioned, around headshots and some of the other things around branding? What would you say is probably the most important thing, especially like for actors, musicians and all of that, in terms of being for them to kind of think about, actually, I do need a branding photography shoot, or I need to make sure my branding sorted?
I think anyone that has a creative sort of career, you are your brand. So for us, it's the same thing. We are service-based businesses. So I am my brand, and people connect with me as a person. So the more content I have that showcase me in a good way, the more connections I can possibly make with people online. And that's again become more important over the last year, because we've had to connect online instead of in person. I mean, I love in-person networking and meeting people in real life and chatting, but in the absence of that, we've had to go back to what we have. And if you don't have a collection of good photos of you showing you in different settings doing different things, I mean, you know, there's a massive gap there. So headshots are great, but my feeling on headshots, and they are important for LinkedIn and 100%. But when it comes to branding photography, it's more lifestyle photography. So again, it comes down to telling that story. So I can imagine, as an actor or a singer or anyone with a creative career, giving someone an insight into what you enjoy doing, if you're not necessarily singing or acting or whatever, giving them an insight into a day in the life of, a great way to look at it from a content perspective. So, you know, when I do branding shoots, there'll be headshots, there'll be cafe shots. There could be, if you had a space that you would work in, we could do shots in those spaces. So the action is the doing shots, and it's also just you, this is me, straight up headshot. So for me, it comes down to content. Having a lot of options in front of you when it comes to thinking about content creation for social media and marketing and all those kind of things. So, because, you know, and I can imagine if you're a singer or an actor, you know, it must be a very saturated industry. There must be a lot of talented people out there. I remember going to Nashville a few years ago, and we went to a bar. I think I said this to you girls. We went to a bar on a Wednesday morning, and there was this incredible singer-songwriter just jamming at 11 a.m. and she was so talented. And the day after, the same thing, different person. And I was bowled over by how much talent there is in a place like Nashville. And then I thought to myself, how do you stand out? How do you, like, if you're a good singer and I'm a good singer, how do I stand out? The only way to stand out is by positioning yourself as a personal brand and knowing what you're about, what makes you unique, and then using your personality. Because we all got similar talents, but what makes us unique is who you are as a person.
Definitely.
From a creative career point of view, I think that's crucial. And branding photography is a great way to make you unique versus just a headshot.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, because there are so many, like you said, who, you know, there's lots of competition and you've got to be unique, but your personality has got to come out. And like you mentioned earlier, your personality comes out in the brand photography, you know, the photographs you have. So like you said, you know, you could be taking a picture of someone in a studio working, or, you know, learning their lines. And, you know, I think sometimes we get frustrated when someone just, I've shared my new single, I've shared, you know, my new film, but we're not seeing any background shots. We're not seeing the story.
Oh my goodness, that is such a, what a shame. I mean, I actually enjoy seeing the process a lot.
Exactly.
I've also started sharing a lot more. I try to share a lot more BTS of what went into getting this photo. The steps. And I think because of social media, people are a lot more interested in your process now.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. to share that. But the branding photography will only work if you have a really good sense of who you are, what you stand for, and what makes you unique. So I always tell my clients, especially with the mentoring, you have to go and do the deep work first.
Yeah.
You don't know, we can take some branding photos, but they might be generic because we don't really know exactly what you want to say.
Definitely. And you can read that off of a photo a mile away.
I think so.
That if someone's not really comfortable in their own skin and they're still finding themselves. So it really is important to, I would say, do that journey, find out exactly what you want to present.
Exactly. And not just copying what someone else is doing.
Exactly.
Like, I'm a photographer. There are billions of photographers out there. If I just go and copy what someone else is doing, then,
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of work involved, but it pays off in the end, definitely.
Definitely.
And I think that is what holds a lot of people back, is when they think about, building a brand and getting pictures done, they look at those that have professional photos and then they sort of think, oh, well, no, that's not what I'm aiming for. I don't want to look professional all the time. But they don't realize that, like with yourself, I guess there are many brand photographers who would do it similar way to other people, but for yourself, you get to know the personality and then realize that it's their personality that's going to come across, not just let's look professional.
Exactly. And I think, there's a lot, like the word professional is such an interesting word because it's not very descriptive.
Yeah.
And I'm very often, my clients, when they leave me reviews, they will use the word professional. And then I always think, oh, okay, yeah, I am professional. And that's important to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm offering my clients an experience which they're investing in. And so if I wasn't professional, they probably wouldn't have thought about investing in that experience.
Yeah.
But the word professional, I think it invokes confidence in you as a business. And if you want to be seen as the expert in your field, then you do need to have a certain amount of professional photos. So when I do branding shoots, I do focus on professionalism, but also the warmth.
Definitely.
Showing that, as you said, personality, because those things blend really well together.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. So let's go and move on to a bit about styling. So what is the most important thing about styling for a brand shoot?
That is such a good question. Styling, it's something that is really important to me because my clients look at the photos in my portfolio and they go, we want that. Now, that doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
A lot of factors that go into that. And when you think about what goes into a good photo, basic things like light is probably the most important thing. I work with clients, the location I choose always takes into account the light, down to the time of day that we shoot. And then moving on from that, creating a certain style or certain look and feel for the shoot. Outfits are really important. When we work together, I wanted to make sure that your outfits weren't clashing, for example, if you're more than one, in a company. But outfits are important because they say something about you as a person. And again, it's treading that line between, I want to look like me, but like me on my best day.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, me is maybe hanging around in leggings on the couch in a jumper, but that's not me on my best day.
Yeah.
When I do branding shoots, I always try and explain to my clients that, you want to feel amazing because that comes across on camera as well. So if you wear an outfit that makes you feel confident, you will feel more confident. And then, as you know, hair and makeup, so important for you to just, again, feel, okay, right, I've got this, I look great. And then what I find with my clients, when they look at their photos, they actually look at the photos and they feel better about themselves. So it's a confidence boosting element. So, there might be photographers out there who kind of have a less of a structured approach when it comes to branding shoots. But I like my approach to be more structured because you then we end up getting the photos that we need. But secondly, you look at those photos and it boosts your confidence to then go away and market yourself.
Yeah.
Look great, you probably don't want to shout about it. Whereas if you've got great photos where you look amazing, of course you're going to shout about it.
Yeah.
Styling is a crucial element to me, and it's something that can make an okay shoot go from an okay shoot to an amazing shoot. So,
yeah, definitely.
That's so important. What is it that you love about being a brand photographer?
People. I think people, the conversations, each client is different. As I said before, it's, it doesn't feel like you know, I remember working in the office and going in every day and kind of going, it was slightly different, but same.
Yeah.
Frustrated by it. And I love people, the conversations. I love the flexibility of being able to shoot wherever I want. And I love location scouting as well. I'm always finding new locations or new spots that I think could work. And it keeps things interesting. And then for me, being the kind of person that I am, I need things to be shaken up a little bit. I need to be doing different things, not completely different, but it kind of feeds my soul. So, but yeah, the people is the main thing, definitely.
Amazing. So you mentioned about location. What has been the most interesting location that you found for a shoot? And that could be across when you do wedding photography as well as brand.
I mean, not so much for a shoot, but we back in December 2018, we went to Vietnam and Cambodia, and I was bowled over by the richness of culture. The people are the most friendly and warm and welcoming people I've ever met in my life. Just the whole experience, because it was so different to how we do things in the West, and the food was incredible. So I loved that side of things. But in terms of just really creative locations for branding shoots, I mean, I've done a branding shoot in Nashville before. That was incredible. Cape Town. I mean, there's so many beautiful places, and again, locations and traveling inspire me as a person.
Definitely.
Me what I need to try new things, and again with the locations as well, it's the light again. I'm such a light fanatic, but you know.
Yeah, and it's an important part of your job.
Exactly.
So obviously there's a lot of creatives that watch our show. What would you say to someone in terms of giving them tips about, I mean, obviously, because you've got the background in marketing as well. So what would you say to someone who's thinking about branding, who's thinking about how to market themselves? What tips can you offer?
So I think before you start doing anything, you have to know who you are. So go and sit down, grab a notepad, start doing a bit of a SWOT, not necessarily a SWOT analysis, but that is part of the research process. But figuring out who you are as a personal brand and kind of working that back to, if you're very closely connected to your business and you're a service-based business, then who you are as a personal brand will be very much intertwined with who you are as a person. So it's figuring out what you enjoy doing and what you're really good at, and then overlapping those things. So sitting down, writing that out, and then going, right, what do I want to be known for? And this is a very, very important point. Before you can market yourself and promote and build your personal brand, you have to figure out what is the one thing that you want to be known for. What is an expert in X?
Yeah.
For me, I always feel I want to be known for really standout personal branding photos that say something. As a person who can help my clients to make the most of their photos. So encouraging them to really build their own personal brand. So for me, it's all around personal branding, confidence, and visual content. So for me, it's not really one thing, but those things are very much intertwined. So anything that I ever talk about or say on social media or any advice that I give will always be grounded around those things. So people always associate me with those things, which I think is important, because there's nothing worse than having a confusing message.
Definitely.
If you've done the work, if you know who you are, what you stand for, what you want to be known for, the last part is knowing who your clients are. If you don't know who your clients are and who you're talking to, it's very easy to kind of go off in a million different directions. Down and writing out, not necessarily even who your ideal clients are, but thinking about who are the clients that you really want to work with in talking to them. I always say to my clients when we're doing branding shoots, what the kind of clients that you want to be working with, where are they hanging out? What are they doing?
Exactly.
What kind of, you want to create those Me Too moments, which I think as soon as you can create those, people connect with you and they'll want to keep following you because the advice and the things you'll be giving will be relevant to them.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots of deep work, but
Yeah, it's a lot of deep work, but it's so important because we just always think like, okay, if it's just social media updating, we'll just take that on the surface. We don't actually think about who are we listening this to? Why am I doing this? And
that's really so true. Why? Why? Exactly. Or just when we're stuck and we don't have any time as well, we just run and do something.
Yeah.
Like I've always thought, there's no, you can't just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. It doesn't work.
Exactly. Yeah.
By having a strategy and then going, right, okay, what do I actually want to say? I always like have this little mind map to mind. I wasn't going to show you this, but I'll show you my incredible drawing. That's like my brand in the center, and then I've just written down, what do I want to be known for? What are the core themes of my what is my purpose, my mission, my vision, and then my brand values.
Excellent.
Back to these things. If you know who you are, then it's very easy to go, oh, what do I want to say? I can just go back to what I'm all about, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, like just thinking about those that might be singers, songwriters, actors, especially because, or even like if you're in modeling or something like that, it is still really important to still know about what your brand values are. And that's something, again, what are you willing to say yes to? What are you willing to say no to?
Exactly.
What should, again, what do I represent as?
That's so true.
Yeah.
So I think that's crucial. And if I think about a model or someone, what clients do you want to work with?
Yeah.
Want to be known. So who do you want to be associated with in your industry? And if you want to up-level yourself or whatever, only work with the best. Only work with people who will help further your career or create a certain image around you.
Yeah.
Same for everything, isn't it? It's like they all say associate or kind of surround yourself with people who will help kind of,
lift you up. Yeah.
Lift you up, exactly. So that's very important.
Yeah,
love it.
And I think, what I love about what you said, there is that inner work. I mean, obviously myself, I do, do a lot of inner work, but in terms of getting to know yourself, a lot of people will, oh, it's social media, as long as I can just be on the surface, there's presence. But you really have to know yourself to be able to reach those clients that, not even just those clients, followers that you can change their lives, even if they don't hire you or they don't buy your music.
Yeah, exactly. It's always, we forget, like, you're not talking to thousands, you're talking to one person.
Yeah.
What you said connects with one person, or you help one person, then the world is a happy place. We've all become so obsessed about the whole, how many followers, how many likes, how many clicks. It doesn't matter when all you need to do is to be yourself. And that's the other thing. If you're trying to copy what someone else is doing, you will come across as fake, unfortunately, because, it's the same as we had a chat about reels before. I don't know why I said reels, but where if you're copying what someone else is doing and it doesn't feel good to you, it'll come across that way.
Yeah.
Do your own thing, do it your way, and that'll be fine because you're being genuine. And all people want, I think people are craving for authenticity.
Yes, definitely.
That genuine connection, because there's so much fakery. So the one thing I will say is, and with personal branding, the most important thing is not being afraid to be yourself. And understanding that means that not everyone's going to like you. And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
It's actually a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Love that.
And speaking of reels, you are the queen
Real
of reels.
Like, you guys
always make me laugh.
Guys watching this show, please make sure you follow Anneli on Instagram. Her reels are just amazing.
Oh, I have fun with them. I have so much fun. I have to say, like, reels are sort of my a creative outlet for me. Constantly have to think about, right, okay, but what is this? And sometimes I just go, do you know what? I'm just going to have fun with this. Like, we work hard, we do our thing, and we always hustling and that. But I'm glad that they brought it out, because I'm actually digging back into my roots of, when I was at school and at uni, I used to do acting all the time. So I'm a bit like, I'll tap
brilliant.
So it's fun.
Excellent.
Definitely. And I think, just like even for the viewers to know that, when I was looking for the brand photographer for us and obviously Swastika, it was like, it was the energy of the person. And I must admit, when I came across your website and I looked at your social media, there was there was a unique energy. It was like it just came off the page, like your picture.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That makes me so happy.
Yeah. So you could see that you enjoy what you do. It's not just okay, you know, here's the brand shoots, here are the pictures that I've done, but there was more to it. And even when I looked at others after I'd gone and looked at yours, it was like, no, I really want that to work with her, you know, and like telling Mel, so again, it's your passion that really came across, and even in
so happy to hear that.
People as well. So
that's amazing. Thank you. And it's so nice to hear that, because the website was, you know, such a labor of love. But when I built it, I put a lot of me on the website, which I think if you're listening to this and you're worried about how much of you should you be putting out there, more, because by people. And I think when I built the website, and I've had people say this as well, it's nice to see the person behind the brand. And the more you can kind of do that throughout the website, it creates like touch points. So don't just have a photo on your about page. Put a photo of you on other pages too, so that people are constantly reconnecting with you as they go through the website. That's just another little thing. But I'm so happy to hear that. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to say that, because you are what you preach.
So good.
Amazing. Definitely. I mean, on that note, where can viewers go to find out more about you?
I think my website is probably the best place, ampersonalbranding.com. Instagram is my second home. I try and be as active on there as I can, and I'm always posting and sharing advice and new content. But my website is like a little home for essentially how I work, and it also explains what the mentoring is, because there might be people out there who have had a branding shoot, but they don't know what to do with their photos, or they feel a little bit stuck in terms of doing that deep work we talked about. And I've worked with a couple of clients this year where it's been so great to figure out and help them figure out, you know, what they want to be talking about. So I'd say the website's probably the best place, but come and hang out on Instagram. It's fun. So
Amazing. Any last messages or anything that you'd like to share with our viewers before we end our interview?
I think I just want to say, just again, don't be afraid to be yourself. And, you know, I think we underestimate how valuable we are and what we bring to the party, and never, ever, ever, you know, make yourself smaller to try and fit in with anyone else. That, you know, you have this one chance. I'm going really deep now, but one chance. And again, over the last 18 months, we've all kind of had a lot of, like, you know, to think about, and it's given me a lot of perspective. And I just think, you know, this is our chance to really help other people and add value. And that's the other thing I will say when it comes to building a personal brand. It is about figuring out who you are and having a good sense of what you want to say, and, you know, but it comes down to how can you help other people? Value. How can you, you know, so how can you use what you know as an expert to make someone else's life better? So I try and always have that perspective of, yes, of course, it is about me now. I am promoting myself. Here's the face behind the brand, but I'm doing this so that I can help you.
Amazing.
Great
advice there. Well, Anneli, thank you so much for being such an amazing guest and sharing your expertise. We can't wait to have more conversations about this at some point.
It's been an absolute blast talking to you girls and to reconnect. And thank you so much for asking me. I've had an absolute blast. And I'm sure we'll stay in touch.
Definitely. Thank you.
Take care.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more RIME Entertainment Showcase.